Hello everyone. Today I will show you 8 simple and tasty Korean side dishes. You can make them ahead and enjoy anytime. Are you ready? Let's get started. Kongnamul Muchim, soybean sprout side dish. Place the rinsed soybean sprouts in a pot. Make sure not to add too much water. Just about 1 cup will do. Cover the pot with a lid and cook on high heat for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, rinse the soybean sprouts under running water to cool them down. This helps them stay even crispier. While the sprouts are draining, let's make the seasoning. In a bowl, put 2 tablespoons of chopped green onion, 1 teaspoon of minced garlic, 1 tablespoon of red pepper powder, 1 tablespoon of tuna fish sauce, 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds, 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, half teaspoon of salt. Now add the drained soybean sprouts to the bowl and mix everything well. Very crunchy flavor and super easy Kongnamul Muchim is done. Pan-fried tofu patties. Start by finely chopping some onions. If you have a carrot, chop a little bit of that as well. If you have chives, chop them up too. But if not, green onions will work just fine. Now here's tofu. Make sure to press out any excess moisture with a kitchen towel or cheesecloth. Removing as much moisture as possible helps the mixture hold its shape and prevents it from becoming too soft. Crumble the tofu into a bowl. Then add 1 tablespoon of tuna fish sauce, half tablespoon of cooking wine, 1 teaspoon of sugar, half teaspoon of salt, 1 egg, 3 tablespoons of starchy powder. Now heat a pan, add 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. Scoop out a spoonful of the mixture and place them in the pan. Set the heat at medium-low and let them cool slowly. Once the bottom turns golden brown, flip them over. Since there's no meat, they don't need to cook for long. When both sides are golden and crispy, your nutty savory pan-fried tofu patties are done. Stir-fried mushrooms. Here I have a king oyster mushrooms. Gently wipe them with a wet paper towel. This helps preserve their nutrients, flavor, and texture. Now cut the mushrooms into bite-sized pieces. If they are large, slice them in half first, then cut them into slightly thick pieces. Next, slice a little bit of carrot and slice a little bit of onion. If you have green peppers, slice a few and set them aside. This is optional. Making the sauce. In a bowl, put 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, 2 tablespoons of oligosaccharide or honey, 1 teaspoon of minced garlic, and a pinch of black pepper. Mix well. Heat a pan and add 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. Then add a half tablespoon of minced garlic and stir fry over medium heat. Frying the garlic first infuses the oil with its aroma, making the dish even more flavorful. Once the garlic becomes fragrant, add the sliced mushrooms and stir fry them well. When they start to soften, add the prepared vegetables and stir fry everything over high heat for a short time. Now pour in the sauce and stir fry for 1 more minute over high heat. Sprinkle a little sesame seeds on top. Flavor and cheese stir-fried mushrooms are done. Young Napa cabbage salad. In a large bowl, mix 3 tablespoons of gochugaru, 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, 1 teaspoon of grated ginger, 3 tablespoons of fish sauce, 1 tablespoon of plum extract or honey, 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds, and 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. Now slice a little bit of onion. And if you have chives or green onions, chop some up as well. Here I have young Napa cabbage. Rinse it 3 times in water to clean it thoroughly, then drain it well. Cut it into bite-sized pieces using a knife or simply tear it apart with your hands. Now gently toss everything together, making sure the seasoning coats the cabbage evenly. Sprinkle a little sesame seeds on top. Very refreshing and delicious young cabbage salad is done. 멸치볶음, stir-fried anchovies. Start by adding dried anchovies to a pan without any oil. I'm using small anchovies, but you can also use smaller ones. Toast them over medium-low heat for about 10 minutes, stirring occasionally to remove excess moisture. If this step feels like too much work, you can microwave the anchovies for 2 to 3 minutes instead. Transfer the toasted anchovies to a plate. As you stir fry, you might notice some fine anchovy powder forming. Don't throw this away. It's packed with deep flavor and can be used to enhance stews. In the same pan, mix together 3 tablespoons of mirin, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of cooking oil. Since the anchovies I'm using are already quite salty, I won't be adding soy sauce. Simmer until the sauce starts to bubble. Once the sauce is bubbling and the toasted anchovies back to the pan, if you like, toss in half cup of your favorite nuts for added crunch. Give everything a quick stir, then turn off the heat. Now mix in 2 tablespoons of corn syrup, 1 tablespoon of perilla oil or sesame oil, and 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds. Adding corn syrup and oil at the very end keeps the anchovies from turning hard over time. Light, nutty, and crispy stir-fried anchovy is done. This dish that's as addictive as a snack. 제육볶음, spicy stir-fried pork. In a bowl, add 1 tablespoon of gochujang, 2 tablespoons of red pepper powder, 2 tablespoons of tuna fish sauce, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 to 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of plum extract, 2 tablespoons of mirin, 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, half teaspoon of grated ginger, a bit of black pepper, and 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. Mix everything well. Slice a little bit of green onion and half an onion. Here I have a thinly sliced pork belly. You can easily find pre-sliced pork belly at a Korean grocery store. Before cooking, pat the pork dry with a paper towel to remove excess moisture. Then cut it into bite-sized pieces. Heat a pan and add 1 tablespoon of cooking oil. Add the pork, then pour in the prepared sauce. Stir fry over high heat for about 4 minutes. Since the pork is thinly sliced, it cooks quickly. After 4 minutes, when the pork is almost fully cooked, add the sliced green onions and continue stir frying over high heat for another 1 minute. Finally, add 2 tablespoons of corn syrup or honey and give it one last toss. Sprinkle a little sesame seeds on top. And your spicy and sweet gochujang stir-fried pork is done. 오징어채 무침, spicy dried squid strips. This is 오징어채, a type of dried squid that has been shredded into thin strips. Start by preparing dried squid. Do not wash it with water. Instead, add 3 tablespoons of mirin. Gently mix it. If the strips are too long, trim them with scissors to make them easier to eat. Set the heat to medium and stir-fry the squid lightly for 1 to 2 minutes to remove any fishy smell. Then transfer it to a plate and set it aside. In the same pan, put 1 tablespoon of cooking oil, 2 tablespoons of mirin, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of red pepper powder, 2 tablespoons of gochujang, 2 tablespoons of plum extract, and 2 tablespoons of corn syrup or honey. Stir well and let it come to a gentle simmer, but do not boil it for too long. As soon as it starts to bubble, turn off the heat, and let the sauce cool down. If you mix the squid with hot sauce, it will turn hard later. Let the sauce cool to warm temperature before adding the squid. Once the sauce has cooled slightly, add the squid and mix well until evenly coated. Finally, sprinkle some sesame seeds. Soft and flavorful spicy dry squid strips are done. 미역 줄기 볶음, stir-fried seaweed salad. Here are some seaweed stems I got from the store. Seaweed is not only delicious but also a fantastic ingredient for side dishes. Seaweed stems are packed with nutrients. Since they are salted for preservation, rinse them thoroughly 3 times in clean water. Now, bring a pot of water to a boil and add the seaweed stems. Blanching them in cold water first helps remove the fish smell, reduces excess salt, and makes the stems softer. Once the water starts boiling, let them cook for another 3 minutes. Then rinse them under cold water and drain well. Now cut them into bite-sized pieces for easy eating. Next, slice half an onion. If you have a carrot, thin julienne a small amount. Heat a pan and add 2 tablespoons of cooking oil and half tablespoon of minced garlic. Stir fry over medium heat until the garlic becomes fragrant. Now add the seaweed stems and stir fry for about 2 to 3 minutes. After that, toss in the onion and carrot. Then season with 1 tablespoon of tuna fish sauce, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of mirin, 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, and 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds. Stir fry everything for just 1 more minute. If it is a little bland, add a little more salt. A soft, savory, and nutritious stir-fried seaweed salad is done. Pair it with the freshly cooked rice and the side dishes you made today, and the mealtime becomes more enjoyable. How was today's video? Which side dish did you like the most? Let me know in the comments. If you liked this video, please hit the like and subscribe. I'll see you next time with more delicious Korean food. Bye bye!